Good evening. I'm going to deviate from my script here for a moment. I want to take this time to congratulate Bill Bynum. I'd also like to congratulate my peer, Dan, from B of A. I'm a bit teary. As Dan said, if you have the opportunity to go, the abject poverty, the tremendous need for housing, affordable housing, decent housing, is tremendous. And so that is why it is so meaningful, the work that Bill does. And so I really wanted to take this time. Last year I had that opportunity to visit, and myself, I grew up in a small town in Alabama, low wealth, single parent, and thought I knew what poverty was. But it was not the same, and not what I saw in Mississippi. And so I commend you, Bill. And then I'd also like to say to Dan and B of A, I salute you on supporting that work early on and for many years. It's a heavy lift. It's a long, arduous journey. And so I commend you for doing that work, and just know that Wells Fargo is close behind you. And so we are committed to doing that work. Now, I have the task of honoring our next tremendous honorees, but before I do that, I certainly want to take this time to ensure that you all are aware of our commitment to affordable housing. Housing affordability, as we are now calling it. Wells Fargo has, for one, been supportive of the great work that NHC has done for many years, and we continue to support this organization and its great work. We will continue to do that, and I am thrilled to be a part of their Board of Governors and look forward to making a difference from that vantage point. We recognize that that there is a crisis in the housing affordability space. And to that end, we have done a great deal of work to address those issues. One of the key areas that we have supported, and I'm flipping through my notes here, is in conjunction, of course, with NeighborWorks. We have supported them for several years for Neighborhood Lift, and certainly it is a gift that keeps giving. Under the umbrella of the LIFT program, we have committed $444 million, thank you, $444 million, and created 21,000 homeowners, low and moderate income homeowners, since 2012. And so we are really very proud of that work. So as we continue to do that work, I am hopeful that you did hear yesterday that we announced that by 2025 we will be committing $1 billion, that's with a B, for housing affordability. The strategy is one that we are very proud of, and it will be more focused. We'll be looking to do more work in the policy area, in innovation, and in more strategic work on the ground and place-based giving, but all in response to the housing affordability crisis. We know that it is a heavy lift, and certainly Wells Fargo will not be able to address it by ourselves, and so we stand shoulder to shoulder with our other partners that are doing the great work. It is sometimes quite daunting, and so I will just say to you that the honorees, I was really gratified today when I heard them speak, and they talked about the journey of getting that legislation across the finish line from both sides of the aisle. And so I commend them for that as well. So finally, I will just say that we committed the $1 million, and a part of that work will be seeded this year in conjunction in partnership with Enterprise Community Partners. We will be committing $20 million to address innovative housing affordability issues around finance, construction, and individual supportive services. And so that program is scheduled to launch September 15th, so please do be on the lookout for that work. We think that it will be meaningful work. It will engage both external and internal stakeholders, as well as the great leadership of Enterprise to help us in making a difference in that space. And so we will move on to do this work. But tonight, as I said, the work that we will be doing will be a more heightened focused around policy and advocacy work. And if you were, I know that many of you were not at the meeting this morning, the policy symposium, but you would have been impressed by the work that they did, the tenaciousness, the stick-to-itiveness, to be able to get that legislation across the finish line. It was a long journey, but what a tremendous accomplishment they were able to achieve by doing that work. And so, let's see, we have, I'd like to where is it here? Sorry. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk then a bit about the California Ballot Initiative team. As I said, the work that they were doing, that they did do, was impressive. In November 2018, the Californians headed to the polls with their hearts and convictions placed on affordable housing and voted to pass Propositions 1 and 2. The winning result was a combined $6 billion for affordable housing and supportive housing for lower-income Californians and for people at risk of chronic homelessness while living with mental illness. Proposition 1, the Veterans and Affordable Housing Act, received 56% of the vote. Proposition 2, the No Place Like Home Act, received 63%. California's collaborative approach is a unique coordination of a broad range of advocates, 4 diverse organizations-led campaign efforts: Ray Pearl, California Housing Consortium; Lisa Hershey, Housing California; Carl Gardino, Silicon Valley Leadership Group; and Cesar Diaz, State Building and Construction Trades Council of California. Please join me now in viewing a video which chronicles that journey.